Here is more of the Republicans apparently thinking that the way that they're going to motivate, because remember, this is really about motivating their voters to be resentful about the student loan policy, but they can't quite, this doesn't fit into the Republican narrative. The fact of the matter is that we know, statistically speaking, that, like on average, Republican voter is going to be wealthier than Democratic ones. They don't have in their arsenal, there's a little bit of like eggheady, what did Spiro Agnew complain about, the nattering nabobs of negativity? There's an anti-intellectualism here, but this is not about professors, right? This is about college students who don't have the money to pay off. So they're having a tough time coming up with critiquing the recipients of these grants. Here's Kimberley Guilfoyle attempting to do just that. And it not necessarily going that well. Boy, she really is like turning into like a cartoon character.
Oh my God.
It really is bizarre, but go ahead.
What to do with their own lives.
That's something else. I want to talk a little politics here and what's coming up here in a couple months. A slate of recent primary and special elections indicating that Republicans are losing some kind of steam as they get closer to the midterms. What exactly are you guys seeing?
I'm not seeing that. And I'm out, across the country and with the president and getting in donations, fundraising. People really want their country.
Just 1 second. I know this is really pedantic, but it should tell you that Donald Trump is not the president. And they keep referring to him to the president. They keep talking about, Steve Bannon was on this the other day, like the president can go put these classified documents out, on Mar-a-Lago's, clothesline and put it in the sun if he wants. He's not the president anymore.
But you know that they do that on purpose, right? The Good Liars interviewed a Trump supporter who said that Trump is still the president.
Yeah. Oh, no, there's no doubt.
But like, and there, even the furthest QAnon folks think he's making certain decisions behind the scenes. Well, so they know what they're doing with this.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not close to the president, Kimberly, because you were working on the campaign of one of the Erics running in Missouri.
The wrong one.
And you didn't even know who he was endorsing when he endorsed that Eric. And you were the chair of the guy that he didn't endorse, I guess. Well, we don't really know for sure, but not that close to him, I would guess.
All right, let's continue.
What exactly are you guys seeing?
I'm not seeing that. And I'm out, across the country and with the president and getting in donations, fundraising. People really want their country back. They have had it. They are tired of the bare shelves. They're tired of this like communist approach where they're saying, well, we're just going to turn the entire country into a welfare state. That's not how it works. We want capitalism back. We want people to be able to open businesses. We want to encourage entrepreneurs. We want to have a tax structure that actually benefits all Americans, people that are working hard. Enough of this nonsense. Paying off loans for people that don't want to, they want to have some bizarre basket weaving, a degree, and they want all of us, people watching across this country, hardworking men and women, to subsidize their laziness and their inability to even try to contribute to society. People are tired of it. It's unfair, it's un-American, and it's not the way that this country should work. We are a capitalist, free market country, and that's why we're the strongest country in the world, unless we let these Democrats stay in.
Right, and we're good.
I mean, the basket weaving thing. I mean, it's interesting. I think that they would be, they have a dilemma, and the dilemma is this: is that I don't think that people fully recognize how much the college debt relief helps minorities in this country, Black people, people of color. We went through this. I think it was Derek Bell that came on. What was the name of the professor that came on? I can't remember specifically. We had someone came on who walked us through this, and it's relatively simple. 125,000, and we've talked about how many the for-profit colleges really focus on Black women in particular. And much of the debt is held because of that. But also $125,000, which is the cutoff, is a lot less money for a Black person making it than a white person generally speaking. And why is that? Is because the likelihood of that white person, not every white person, not every black person, the likelihood of that white person having to provide money for other family members is significantly less than the likelihood of that black person having to do it. And why is that? Because there is a huge disparity in wealth between white and black people in this country.
And then generational wealth too. There's also probably from before, like parent. What is the number one transfer of generational wealth? Right, it's home ownership.
Home ownership.
So in terms of like the person who's taking out the loans, the parents, right, they're less likely to have some cushion from their
Without a doubt,
from their family members older than them, as well as what they're providing for family members below them.
Just in sheer numbers, that black people who are making $125,000 or $120,000 or whatever it is, or even over $125,000, have more expenses and more need to support maybe their parents, maybe other family members, because there's just not as much wealth in the typical black family as there is in the typical white family. That's just the reality of it. And so the debt forgiveness for colleges is also not just a good program for everybody, but it also has that much more material impact for people of color in this country.
And
if the Republicans were aware of this, if there was broad-based understanding of this, which there isn't, I'm quite convinced that they would be moving more in that direction. It wouldn't be,
yeah.
And I don't know if basket weaving, like I think is probably sort of like more like, I don't know, hippy dippy.
Yeah.
I think, and certainly like the barista comments that Ted Cruz do. It's more like hippy dippy. They're trying to sort of like, but give them time and they'll try and racialize it.
And it's funny they say basket weaving, like the number one major for debt is pharmaceutical major. So it's like you're pharmacist. And like you said, like there's been Catherine Rampel in the Washington Post said, we're actually these people are actually rich. And if you look at what they mean by rich is they're going to be rich in the future because of how we project their career to go. And it's like, well, yeah, but what you do then is with regards to like high income is you raise income taxes. You don't have student loans be like some sort of way to like attack income inequality.
Right. Exactly.
And in terms of what the student debt that's being wiped out, half of Latino holders of student debt will have their debt eliminated entirely, according to what was like an NBC News report that came out in the immediate aftermath. So I think Democrats understand this, because did you read that Alex Salmon piece from a few months ago? We had him on to talk about it. The Republican community centers that they were setting up in different non-white areas in the country. Like, they understand that at that time, they understood that maybe there's a way for us to carve out some section of non-white voters for our purposes. And I mean, honestly, I just think it seems like what Biden did here is a bit of a counterattack and more substantive.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's more substantive than that. But I mean, the thing with the Republicans and the gains in South Texas is they are this party that's investing in jobs in those communities. It only happens that those jobs are border jobs. But if you live in those communities, you can get $100,000 job for very little education. Yep. And the Democrats need something to counter that. And if it has to be student loans, then so be it.
And one more really silly point. Did you see that she's the national finance chair of MAGA again?
Oh, my God.
So it's Make America Great Again. That's what they're going with.